Shalom. It's very interesting how small things can blow your mind. My mind is still blowing about how Esther just gained wisdom. In the last video, we're talking about how process breeds wisdom. We're talking about how process breeds wisdom. Because as you go through it, there are things about you that changes. There are responses within you that change. There are attitudes that shift. And my mind goes back to Mordecai. When Mordecai heard about the plot by Bigtha and Teresh, he didn't tell the queen to tell the kings that he could get recognition. He had been on the path with God long enough to know that whatever was his, he would get. So he did it because it was right. That really has me thinking. Because there's a pathway that God has put me on that I must shift to. There's a plan that my life must aggregate to bring together. There's a gift that the world is waiting to come from me. And the place I am is perfect learning ground. Remember a few videos ago, I talked about how the process is the way to the prize. And the prize is not about me. It's about the generations tied to me. The prize for Esther was to be the queen because the end prize, the larger picture, was that the children of Israel would need to be rescued from a madman. So then the pain she had gone through was because she needed to become a certain kind of person. I'm not saying your pain is unimportant. It is. The thing that I'm grappling with and I'm learning from is my pain is a tool in the hands of God. If I look at the place I'm at and all the things I'm going through from my side, it's not worth it. And I remember telling God on certain matters, this is not what I signed up for. But then I realized if I tell him this is not what I signed up for and I'm claiming the promise and where I am is tied to the promise, then it means I didn't sign up for the promise either. That shook me when I realized that whatever is needed for me to go through to attain the promise, I will attain. Because the reality is I am called to walk in his ways. I'm not called to luxury. A few months ago, I put up a post on one of my social media spaces that said, my life is about assignment, not comfort. And I said that because that day I realized afresh that it doesn't matter how comfortable I am. If I'm comfortable and the reason I was sent to this earth is incomplete, I may as well be dead and in the grave. That's my very personal understanding of it. Because if I am comfortable, but my assignment is incomplete, it means then that I'm not walking with my Father. I'm not saying you must struggle and suffer. No, that's another fallacy. What I'm saying is the thing that must give me strength, joy, and hope every day is the reality that I have done everything my Father has told me will get me closer to our common goal. And it doesn't mean that every day I wake up, woohoo, I'm doing well, I'm strong. There are days I'm like, I'm not waking up. I don't want to walk. I am not going. Then like our loving Father, he comes and asks me, sweetie, didn't we say this is what we're supposed to approve? Yes. This is what we're supposed to achieve? Yes. This is part of my plan? Yes. So can we keep walking? And the thing I found that is so beautiful about God, God is strong. If I sit there like David and tell him how today you've been mean to me, you have not sorted me out, he won't smite me. Because he says, as a father loves his child, he watches over me. It also means that when he says, I can trust him, I must trust him. Because if a father wouldn't give his child a snake, surely my Father in heaven will not give me something that will kill me. So this place of process, if I need to cry, people, I cry like a baby. If I need to decompress, I have the places I go to decompress. Sometimes I just lock my door and I wail like a child because there's a pain in me that must come out. There's nowhere in scripture that says to cry is a bad thing. Nowhere. What the word teaches us about is to be true and to be strong. And strength doesn't mean I don't ask questions. Strength means I ask and I listen for the answers. So I come back to the story of Mordecai because this guy just kept doing the right thing. And then one day the king wakes up. There was this man, and it was in the annals, and they were reading, and he's like, I remember that man. What did we do for him? And they said nothing. Like, what? And his next question was, who is in the courtyard or in the court of meeting? And they say, oh, Haman has just walked in. And Haman, in his measure of foolishness, thinks he's the only one who the king might want to reward. So when the king asks, who do I reward? How do I reward one who's saved my life? And he proclaims all the things that he would want done for him. And then he's told, go and do likewise for Mordecai. Mordecai was he was honored for doing what he knew his father would have him do, his God in heaven. That's it. That's why he was honored. It wasn't a bigger story than that. He was honored based on his obedience. His promise was provision, it was supplied. What is holding you back with your promise? This is a very curious question for me because the things that hold me back are always tied to my comfort. I don't know about you, so that's why I'm asking you. It's tied to, I wanted provision a certain way, or I wanted a certain measure of comfort, or I didn't want trouble, or I didn't want to have to deal with so and so. And then God is saying, that's the way we're going. What is it? What is it that is drawing strength from your process? Process is critical because that is where you have to learn to let go of people and things that distract you. You have to let go of mindsets that will pull you back. You have to let go of dreams that are taking you in the wrong direction. Process strengthens. It strengthens us to do what is right no matter what, and whether or not we get recognition. What are you holding on to? What is giving strength to your process? Because the promise never changes. Shalom.